In this video, we're talking about how you can grow your YouTube channel and really make your growth just explode. Now, these concepts, they will help you understand what's happening on your channel and help you grow. And when it comes down to the actual tips and what you can do, it's not that difficult. It's stuff that you can start implementing right now, but it just takes understanding how the algorithm works and how YouTube is serving up your content to other people out there and what they actually care about. I've touched on this in some previous videos, but I wanted to put all these ideas together so you can really understand what it takes to actually grow your channel right now. Now, I apologize if I'm gonna be a little bit out of breath on this video. I'm currently at like 7,000 feet elevation and I'm climbing to 10,000 feet. And I'm just shooting this on the Nikon Z6, no microphone, just autofocus, hand holding, no tripod, nothing. Part of that is that I actually just forgot my gear, but secondly, I do want to test the limits of this camera because I teamed up with Nikon to shoot a film as I climb a mountain in Canada. Training for that right now, that's why out of breath. But guys, if you're new here to this channel, my name is Jevan Dovey. I do filmmaking tutorials, product reviews. I also do a lot of YouTube training. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss one of these out of breath videos.
Okay, let's begin with our first topic, and everything starts here.
One topic, one niche, and I know you guys have heard this over and over and over, but I just really want to hone in this idea. And it's something that, even though I talk about this all the time, I am constantly getting questions about, well, how do I do a variety channel? Well, you can't. You can't really do a variety channel because you have to have one value proposition, one niche, one topic that you're creating, and all your content is being created around that. Now, the reason for that is you don't want to split your audience. As soon as you split your audience, you're not going to get a high click-through rate when you release a new video, because what's going to happen at its core is that your video is shared to a group of your followers. That's what happens when the notifications hit. Now, if a good chunk of those people decide not to watch, so say you have a variety channel and you have topic A, and you have topic B, you have topic C, you have topic D. Well, all the people who are interested in topic A will watch your video when you release a video on topic A. The issue is YouTube doesn't just show your content to everyone in topic A. Instead, they show your video to a group of people from your entire channel. So topic A, B, C, D. It's just anyone who subscribes to your channel. Topic B, C, and D are not gonna watch that video on topic A. So what happens is you're gonna have a low click-through rate, and if you do get clicks from those people, there's a good chance they're gonna not watch very much, so you'll have a low audience retention. Guess what? YouTube's not gonna continue to share that video to more people, so that video just is gonna die. Even though you might have a group of people who really care about that, those people might not actually see that content, and overall, it's gonna just suppress that video because YouTube's not gonna boost it in any way. So it's important that you have one topic, one niche, one idea. And I actually have a client who is battling this recently. She has 500,000 subscribers, 500,000, huge number, right? And she saw in the last year, her channel took a dive. And she is freaking out, trying to figure out, well, why did my channel take a dive? I don't understand. And so I started digging into her analytics. I started digging into what she's doing and really focusing on, what changed in the last year. Because her growth was steady and it was exponentially growing year after year. And then in this last year, it cut in half. Now, what I saw is that she has a fitness channel and she has a lot of really powerful fitness videos that are doing well on her channel. So millions of views, tons of watch time, all that good stuff. Well, a year ago, she started introducing other forms of content. Things that people in her audience may be interested in, but things that to the general person who subscribed to her channel, I don't see them as interested in it. So going from fitness videos only to podcasts that are hour long, not shot well, just a webcam, and just talking head bits about inspiration, motivation, all of these things that do tie in with fitness to a degree, but because it was such a radical shift, and I think the podcasts are one of the reasons why this actually had a bigger effect because now you're putting this long form content. You look at the audience retention, you see the hockey stick, it's doing nothing for the channel. Now, imagine doing that every week over the course of a year. So think about it this way. If you were to ask your friend a question and they said they don't know. So you say, what is the square root of 6,400, 415? And your friend's gonna be like, I don't know. Well, you ask them a second time, 5 minutes later, what is the square root of blah, 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 blah? They're gonna be like, well, I don't know. Would you ask them a third time? Well, no, you're not gonna keep asking that person the same question that clearly they don't know. And so when you think about this in terms of YouTube terms, what that means is if you're constantly serving an audience with content that they don't want, eventually YouTube's gonna stop serving your videos to your audience. So what happened is, because all of her content was fitness videos, her audience wants fitness videos. They want that style of content that she creates and she did so well at doing for the last few years. So now she starts putting out these podcasts and they're hour long. So for her audience who came for just her fitness videos, they're gonna see that once, they might click through it the first time, and then they'll be like, why? I don't want this, I just want a fitness video. They're gonna click off. So your audience retention is gonna hockey stick. So imagine that happens once. Now, start doing that week after week on your channel. What's going to happen is YouTube's going to stop serving your audience and just all of your videos in general, because your videos are constantly turning people away. So what I saw when I dug into the analytics was just this. She was releasing, still workouts every week, but adding in this content actually hurt her channel, even though there is a percentage of her audience who actually does care about this. They care about the motivation, inspiration, the podcast she's doing, but the majority of her audience didn't want this content. So this is circling back around to what I was saying, which is serve one audience and figure out who that audience is and come up with one value proposition, one topic, one niche, and build all of your content around that. Now, I'm not saying you have to just do workout videos, but your value proposition needs to have one idea. And so it has to be like an idea that all of your videos kind of circle around. Now, all of your videos can be different topics if they fall in line with that one value proposition. So for my channel, I've been struggling with this because I'm trying to figure out where my value proposition is. And I landed on this a little while ago and I shifted it because I started this channel as a travel vlogger. It's not what I wanted to do. I shifted the channel. I saw a major dip. It just is what it is when you change a channel. However, what I wanted to do was start focusing more on my tutorials, my reviews, and things like that. What I realized is I didn't want to go down the hardcore like filmmaker route. I have a production company. I do a lot in the film space. I've shot feature films. I've done reality TV. I've done a lot of documentary work, but I didn't want to go down the pro level filmmaker route and just focus on that. I care more about working with people who want to self-produce creators. So my value proposition has shifted over time. And it's gotten to the point where it is now, which is creating content for creators to help them grow their brand, grow their channel, and learn how to use the tools to make it all happen. So what I'm trying to do is access creators, because I see there's so much potential with you creating content, me creating content, and the whole professional world of filmmaking. It's not going away, but there's this whole other thing happening, and I definitely see the value in it. So that's where I've changed my value proposition to focus more on that, which is why you're seeing more YouTube training. You're also seeing me focus more on tutorials and products of things that I would think that creators would be interested in, rather than focusing on like super high-end cameras. Like I'm not gonna do a video on a Red Cinema camera because I don't really see the value in that for creators. We don't need to use crazy expensive cameras. We need to use whatever we have. So focusing your efforts into one topic, one niche, is really going to help you grow as a creator. And when you can really say, this is what I'm doing, this is who I'm focused on, this is what I'm creating for, then you can start expanding and figuring out, okay, what are all the topics that I can cover that tie back into that single value proposition? All right, so that brings us to topic number 2. And I'm gonna explain this in the form of a mountaineering technique. So when it comes to climbing, you basically pace yourself. So you go for about an hour, you hike for about an hour, and then you get off your feet. So I'm sitting down, I've got water, I've got food, and I don't use a hydration pack, the ones with the tube, because the idea is you want to get off your feet, you have to pull things out of your pack. It forces you to stop and get off your feet for about 10 minutes. Now, doing this over the course of an entire day allows you to actually be more productive and be able to last longer and be able to have more endurance and all of that. So for you, if you have the opportunity, take breaks from YouTube, step away from YouTube, and use that time to reflect back on what you're doing and use that time to figure out new things that you can do for your channel. Now, I'm not saying walk away from your channel for like 2 weeks and just let your content die. Now, what you can do to be able to take these breaks and to be able to take your mind off creating just all the time is batch your content. Now, this is an idea that I've heard Sunny talk about a lot on her channel, and I would highly suggest checking out her channel because she is an awesome creator teaching you how to grow your business and grow your reach on YouTube, and she's got some really awesome stuff. So I'll put a link in the description to her stuff as well. But she talks about this idea of batching content. And the reason for that is you want to make sure you stay on a schedule. You want to make sure that you're consistent. So every Monday at 6 a.m. you release a video. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. you release a video, whatever your schedule is. And to do that, you need to be constantly making videos. Well, the way to get around always creating so that you can take breaks and actually grow what you're doing and change what you're doing and think about what you're doing is by batching content. So create a bunch of videos at once that then get released over time. So if you do take a break, say you take a week off, you have content ready to go for that week. And it's a good practice just to do in general is batch content. So make multiple videos and then release them over a course of like a week or 2 weeks. That way you're not always creating and you can start focusing on the other aspects of YouTube, the other ways that you make money, the other ways that you grow your channel, rather than just always focused on creating content, shooting, editing, all of that stuff, because it does wear on you after time and you do have to take breaks. You do have to step away. You have to do the other stuff. You have to work with other creators. You have to think about things in a different way, and you're not going to do that if you're always focused on creating content. All right, just made it to the summit, 10,000 feet. Gonna start working my way back down. Definitely gonna be less out of breath now. Going up is always the hardest. Okay, so this brings me to my next point, which is the master is always the student. Now, the reason that I say that is that in order to have a successful channel, continue to grow and everything like that, you always have to be learning. You can't stop learning. As soon as you stop learning, that's when you're going to start just repeating things and you're not actually going to move forward. You only have so much that you can share. And if you don't expand your knowledge, you don't expand what you're doing, you don't expand what you're learning, what you're thinking about, then you as a person can't grow, so your content is gonna suffer. And this goes especially for those of you who do like tutorials and things like that on your channel, things that are more explainer based. Well, if you're not constantly learning, if you're not upping your game, then eventually you're gonna hit a wall where you don't really have new stuff to share. You just have the same stuff over and over. And so it's important that you continue to learn. And this also goes to just everyone who's trying to crush it here on the platform. There are people teaching YouTube, and at some point you're gonna think, oh, I've mastered what I'm doing here. But I don't want you to stop learning. You should always be kind of seeing what's going on, seeing what changes are going, seeing what people are finding with the algorithm and different things like that. And there's a group of creators that I watch, and I highly suggest you should check them out. And I'm gonna put them all in the description, but some of the main ones are Nick Nimmin. He's got an awesome channel for creators. D Nimmin, his brother, great channel for creators with smartphones. Roberto Blake, he has an awesome channel, tons of valuable information. Daryl Eves, he's like an OG YouTuber. He's been working with some huge channels and he's done a lot for the creator community. He also runs an event called Vid Summit, which I highly suggest you check out, and I'm gonna be there this year. That's like the conference for people who want to level up their YouTube channel. Also, Little Monsters Media, Matt, his channel is great. And then also Sunny's channel is an awesome resource for more information about YouTube, just growing your channel. Another good channel that you should follow is Sean Cannell. His channel, Think Media, does a lot of awesome content for creators. And then also his other channel, Video Influencers, which has a ton of videos on just, everything around YouTube. Another channel that you should check out is Dan from Creator Fundamentals. He has a cool channel that's really targeted towards beginner YouTubers. And he does a lot of teachings around different things that new creators and new YouTubers would need to get going on the platform. Now, the last two you should check out is Brian G. Johnson. He's got a lot of awesome videos. And then Vanessa Lau. And her channel is interesting because she learned how to do YouTube and how to grow her channel from Sunny and took her course and did all of that. And her channel has really exploded because she was really hyper focused in who she wants to target and has just gone down that path and just created content specifically around that niche and around her audience. Now, something that she mentioned in one of her videos, which I know all of these people have talked about at some point, and that is growing an email list. So that's my next point. You need to grow an email list. And I did a video about this and it tanked. So an email list basically gives you that power to directly email the people that are on your list. And this is important, especially when a new video comes out. So this is something that I do. I have an email list, and as soon as a new video comes out, I publish that video and then send it off to my entire list. Now, what happens is a portion of the people on my list click that video and start watching. Now, what does that tell YouTube? It's an important metric that we don't get in the back end, and something that I hope YouTube will implement in the future, but that is percentage of people that start YouTube with one of your videos. So your start ratio. And that's important because YouTube does weigh this. If your videos are bringing people into the platform and then people are staying and watching more content, YouTube's going to reward you in a way. The algorithm's going to help push those videos higher in the system because it's proven that those videos get people to start on the platform and actually watch and consume content. So you can give a huge boost to your content by having an email list and sending out an email as soon as a video launches so that you hit everyone on that list and you get that initial surge of traffic. So not only if you've created a single niche, you're hyper focused, all those people who see the thumbnail and the title will click on the video from the notifications, but also you have a whole nother pool of people that might not be necessarily on YouTube that will get an email notification, and then they'll start watching the video, and it might bring them into YouTube and start them down the path of watching a group of content, and YouTube's going to reward you for that. So it is important that you have a high start ratio, so you get people to actually start watching your videos and then consume more videos. And to do that, a really easy way is by an email list. And if you want to learn more on how to grow your email list, like I said, I made a video all about how to grow your email list, and I'll put it in the description and you can check that one out as well. Now I'm going to take a quick second to pause here and just let you know that because you've watched the video this far, I'm going to give you a little discount code on my own 16-week course that I've created on how to grow your YouTube channel. And I go through basically my method on how I grew my channel to where it is today. So if you look on the screen right now, get a little discount code. It's really only for those people who actually stick around and, watch a decent chunk of this video. Just came down from there. That's the summit. Okay, next thing is experimentation versus doubling down. And this is interesting because these are completely opposing ways of thinking about how to create content. Experimenting basically means just trying new things for your channel. Obviously, you want to stay within your niche, you want to stay within your value proposition, but trying new topics, trying new ideas, and just playing around. Now, the other side of this is doubling down on the content that works. So when you find a video that does very well, make another video of that same topic. Make another video where you do similar type of stuff. You talk about similar things, or you're on the same type of adventure, or you're vlogging around the same type of content. Like whatever it is, double down on what works. And you can really dig into your analytics and figure out what metric makes the most sense for you. So if it's subscribers, if a video is bringing in a lot of subscribers, then make another video like that, and you can double down on that momentum of that first video and get more subscribers. Now you can also do this for views or watch time or audience retention. You just want to find a metric that you care about and then find the videos that are the best examples of that on your channel and then remake those in a different way. Now, like I said, experimenting is where you're just trying new things. And I think it's important for your channel to have both. If you just double down on your content, yes, you will grow your channel, but eventually it might start teetering over because people will get bored if you're doing the same thing over and over and over. So you want to constantly be experimenting and try new things. If I never tried doing some YouTube training in this style, I would have never known that these videos can get a lot of views and these videos can perform well. And overall, these videos bring a lot of audience retention in. So when I'm doing my YouTube training, I'm focused on the metrics that I'm focused on are subscribers and audience retention, because these videos tend to bring in a lot of both of those metrics for my channel. So the key is just figuring out what you care about and then doubling down on that content. Obviously, all of it ties back to like the content that you want to create and the content that makes sense for your channel. But these are just strategies on how to use your analytics to tell you what works and then double down on it. And then you have to experiment. You have to just try new things. So a tool that I use is vidIQ. I'll put a link in the description to where you can try it out. But vidIQ is really cool because they have this channel audit feature. And when you do a channel audit, you can see your top ranking videos in the last 30 days for all of these metrics. And it tells you right there, double down on this style of content. So super interesting. And one of the things that you really should pay attention to is views per hour. So your momentum, your velocity, because that has a lot of weight when it comes to your videos. If you have a video that has high velocity out of the gate, that means you're getting a lot of views per hour out of the gate. It's going to start ranking better. If you have high velocity, then what that's going to tell the algorithm is that there's a lot of people interested in this video. I'm going to start sharing it with more people. And so you're going to get more impressions. And then your title and your thumbnail are going to determine your click-through rate. So if you have a good click-through rate with some momentum and YouTube starts sharing this out to more people, well, that's when you have a video that really takes off in the ranking system and the suggested video. So all of it works together. But I really want you to think about each thing that you can do to grow your channel as an independent item and work on that. Maybe one video you're just focusing on doubling down on a piece of content that works. Try that, see how it works, see if it actually takes off again, and use that data to make future decisions. Now do that with everything that I've talked about, not only in this video, but in all the videos that I've talked about on how to grow your channel and do everything else when it comes to building your brand. You really have to try things, experiment, and you really have to just focus on one thing at a time. If you try to do everything at once, you're not gonna know what works and what doesn't. All right, so I just passed this guy on the trail. He's doing a trail run up here, rocking out 30 miles. I'm doing a measly 8. But this ties into my next point, which is no two channels are the same. So personally, I couldn't go out there and do a 30-mile run right now. And even in general, if I trained for it, my body just doesn't work when it comes to doing long trail runs at elevation like this. I'd rather do the long, slow climbs and do mountaineering. I can carry heavy packs over long distances and up high mountains. So when it comes to your YouTube channel, you have to understand, no two channels are the same. And this is something that I think there needs to be more focus on, because there is a lot of YouTube training out there. There's a lot of creators that are doing YouTube training, and I've obviously mentioned a bunch earlier on in this video. But in reality, all these tips are good, but nothing really is going to work unless you test it on your channel and see if it works. So if I tell you that, do this and it's gonna grow your channel, well, in reality, this and this might actually hurt your channel. So when creators are talking about different tips and things to grow your channel, and you learn more about growing your channel, you have to take these things and test them and actually look at the data, and that's the most important part. Yes, all of us who are teaching this come from experience. We come from working with channels, we come from working with other people's channels, and we have found different trends that work and different things that work for the YouTube algorithm and everything like that. There's also a ton of training that YouTube puts out, and you could go through and do all these training modules. There is a lot of information out there, but all of it isn't gonna work until you test it. So what you need to do is just understand that you have to test things and you have to try things on your channel and see what works for your channel. Because the only real way to grow your channel is to actually work on your own channel and see what works on your channel and see what your audience cares about. Once you can master your value proposition and who your audience is and what kind of content they like to create, then you can really take off and grow your channel and become a successful creator, and you have the massive growth that you see on all these other channels. Now, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't focus on other people's channels and say, well, he's doing this, so why isn't it working for me? Like I said, every channel is unique. So what's gonna work on my channel might not work on your channel, but it doesn't mean that you can't test it, because there's a good chance that if something worked on my channel, it could work on your channel. So the reality when it comes to growing your channel comes from constantly learning, trying new things, and just seeing what works for you. All right, and the last thing that you want to think about is language. You want to make sure that you use inclusive language, not language that will turn people away. This is an interesting aspect when it comes to YouTube, but you really want to focus on the word choices that you use. So things just to think about, like if you close off a video and you say, this is the end, well, don't say that, because then people will click off and go do something else. It would be better if you threw them to another video, if you tossed them into, another video on the same subject, a playlist or something like that. So you want to keep people in YouTube. You don't want to be exclusive. You want to be positive. You want to have an engagement with the people on the other side of the camera. That's important, and your language will dictate that. So if you want to see more videos on how to grow your channel and really explode your brand here on YouTube, then I put some links down in the description that are all about how to grow your YouTube channel. And for those of you who focus on tutorial-based content, I highly suggest you check out this video right here. It's all about how you grow your channel using tutorials and reviews. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.